So this is showing up in us with irritability, emotional numbness, and lack of motivation, and feeling disconnected from life. And we see it in the suicide rates in men. Um, I think that these mass shooters are a good example of the loneliness epidemic. Uh, Nobody hears me, nobody sees me. They'll see me now, type shit. Um, Suicide, it's just quitting's got to be better than this. And the cycle is devastating. Loneliness creates withdrawal and isolation. Withdrawal creates more loneliness. The longer it continues, the harder reconnection becomes. And I think that the analogy that comes up is sex. But if you're with a partner and you begin to there's an issue or whatever, and you go a certain amount of time without having sex, it's longer than normal, then approaching the subject becomes a little touchy, especially if there's any pushback from either party. So then it goes a little longer. Well, now it's even harder to talk about, and it goes even longer. And now it's going to feel really fucking weird when we do finally have sex again, because it's been 6 months. We're married and we've gone 6 months without having sex. What? And this is a story you'll hear over and over and over in marriage counseling. And it's the same thing that we're talking about right now. The further you get from connection, the more awkward and uncomfortable it feels. And so you don't want to go towards it. And so you put it off even further. You get even more disconnected and more lonely, which is going to make it even more awkward and more uncomfortable to do, just like the sex thing does. And it's this snowball. And, you eventually, in both scenarios, you got to step the fuck up and get after it. Whether that's figuring out connections that you really need. We've talked about it before at the cellular level. They don't fight. They want to they want friends.
Yeah.
And we do too. And we're not suggesting that you don't align yourself with others, who think like you do and in alignment. But the bottom line is the understanding yourself, having a connection with yourself, and then you're going to share that with others. And if again you find alignment with others, hopefully it is in that they have connection with their self and they want to share, because that's what we're doing. And we're sharing our good and our bad, but we're sharing our good. And becoming vulnerable really matters. And it's real connection requires honesty and openness. Most men want connection while hiding everything they feel. To your point, put the picture together I'm going to give you some signals. You put the picture together. And you feel deeply connected while staying emotionally hidden. It's just an oxymoron. So you have to expose yourself. You have to open yourself to whatever comes with it. And that's going to be uncomfortable if you've put yourself in a real comfortable padded room. But you'll eat it.
It's a process to learn.
Yeah.
It's a process of learning to share what needs to be shared, to express.
Mm-hmm.
It's a so let me try to describe vulnerability with with different language. Just the development of being honest about what you're experiencing. It's really honesty.
Yeah.
The-
And it starts with being honest with yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, to Jason's point, this is a process. You start out small. You reach out, and hopefully you've got somebody there. If there's absolutely nobody, then it's going to be reaching out is going to include finding places to put yourself where you can find others who are in a similar space as you. Be more honest in your conversations. To Jason's point, honesty with others and yourself. Stop being something you're not, because you're going to get back something you don't want. It's the bottom fucking line. If I tell you that I'm a car that takes water, but really I'm a car that takes gasoline, when you give me water, it's going to fucking break me. So stop pretending everything's fine. It's not. Focus on depth over quantity. So quality versus quantity. And, try to set a goal to have a a real conversation with somebody this week, whether it's a sibling, a parent, a friend, a partner, just sit down and and it doesn't have to be when I use the word real, it there is going to be vulnerability in that you're going to the reason I want to have this conversation is I need to build more connection because I feel lonely. Vulnerability. All right.